Welcome, family, to Help Stop the Genocide in American Ghettos podcast. I'm your host, Emmanuel Barbee. Please hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to our YouTube channel and share this video podcast with your friends. Ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you do this because we want others to know that we're here. Help make this video go viral by posting it on your Facebook page, your Instagram page, and your Twitter page. This video podcast is available in 3 forms: audio, video, and as a written text in order for us to reach our audience. In order to follow along with my presentation, I strongly recommend everyone on my Facebook friends list to please exchange emails with me so that I can email you everything I do online. Also, I would like for my listeners to follow me on my Medium page. This is where I post my actual speech. I also provide my sources under Show and Prove. I recommend that you watch the video clips I provide to fully understand what's happening in America. I use this platform to interact with everyone on my friends list and everyone in my social groups by giving Black business owners free airtime to promote their products and services. I give people in the faith community an opportunity to share the gospel of Jesus Christ, and ordinary law-abiding citizens an opportunity to share their special talents and skills to my listeners from around the globe. After the show, I offer my guest speakers an incentive by teaching them how to create their own podcast and YouTube channel to help them earn extra revenue during COVID-19. I also assist people on my friends list with creating basic websites, finding college scholarships and grants, housing, and legal services, all for free. I would like to personally invite everyone on my friends list and everyone in my social groups to our upcoming Facebook Live event entitled Question: Black Grassroots and the Global African Family. When are we going to get this film project fully funded and made? Saturday, July 30th at 2 p.m. through 4 p.m. American Central Time, 3 o'clock p.m. Canada Time, 8 p.m. West African Time, 8 p.m. UK Time, 9 p.m. South African Time, 10 p.m. East African Time. If you would like to be on the panel, just send me a message to my Facebook inbox for additional information. If you are unable to participate, then please share my Facebook Live event with your friends and leave a public comment about the topic on my YouTube page and on my Facebook page. This will help get the ball rolling. I don't plan on doing this another 30 years. I've been on Facebook for 18 years. My film project is my last attempt to try to do something positive for our racial group in America. The reason why we are hosting these monthly virtual conferences is to encourage our listeners from around the globe to support our film project. The proceeds from the film will help put me in a better position financially to hire qualified Black middle class professionals, buy office equipment, and purchase property for our Christian business, Griner of Chicago, which is the Grassroots Community Activist Institute of Chicago. Eventually, we will launch our African and Caribbean tour so that we can reconnect the diaspora with continental Africans from my African group, Griner of Africa. We aim to set up chapters in 10 African nations so that we can host international trade among our people. This will be a win-win situation for our people who are trapped in American ghettos, because we can sell our films, artwork, and music to our brothers and sisters on the continent and in the Caribbean, as well as in Brazil. In contrast, I will bring the best of the diaspora with me during our African tours to meet African entrepreneurs and match them with Black entrepreneurs and African artists with Black artists. So African entrepreneurs can sell their products and their products like beauty supplies, artwork, food, etc. This will also help improve the African economy because Black Americans as a collective have $1 trillion spending power. At this point, all I have is my revised book, my virtual store, and my faith that God will connect me with brave, inspired Black people, African people, to come forth and work with me in turning my vision and plan into a reality. Those of you who are active group members on my online groups, it's time for us to take our story to the next level, that is the big screen, in order to reach the global African family and build the Grassroots Community Activist Institute of Chicago collectively. As of now, only 3 people out of 1,560 people on my Facebook friends list have donated to our film project. That's not cool and that's not fair. If you don't care about our Black youth in America, then delete me off your friends list now. Those of you who will be part of our film project will go down in history with me and Sister Renee. I'm using GoFundMe as a crowdfunding source so that everyone knows exactly where the funding is going towards. Once we reach 200,000, then we will work on doing the movie trailer. Our goal is to raise 500,000 in order to make a quality Black empowerment film based on my revised book, quote, The Solution for Black America, Reclaiming, Rebuilding, and Restoring the Urban Ghettos in America, 2nd edition. It's available on Amazon. The title of the film is Hood Liberator, Made in Chicago, The War Against Willie Lynch Begins. The sequel, African Liberator, Battle Against the Colonized Mindset, will be made in South Africa. Without support from the Black grassroots and the global African family, then I am unable to make my films and do my job. The ball is in their hands. Because I've done all I can do on my part. I invested 30 years trying to get this thing popping. Instructions on how to participate on this show. First, watch my video podcast. This is called Side A, which after I finish my presentation, then I will open up the phone lines through Facebook Messenger. This is called Side B. You can interact with me in real time either by voice call by clicking on the phone icon or by video call by clicking on the camera icon. Today's topic of discussion is as follows. The Latino vote, deviant, desperate political class, Brittany, Griner, abandoned by the LGBT community, and Black America in our own words. Our first topic, the Latino vote. Latinos won't put up with Democrats ignoring them, unlike the Black community, who have been voting for them for over 50 years. Something needs to change. The Democratic Party does not promote business. Instead, they promote social programs. I believe that Black people need to create more businesses rather than getting more jobs. I believe that your local elections are important, like voting for your governors, prosecutors, sheriffs, judges, aldermen, and mayors. Myra Flores is from the Rio Grande Valley. From what I understand, that area in Texas has been a Democratic stronghold for almost 100 years until Myra Flores flipped that district to Republicans. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because I want my listeners to hear what she said. Then we will analyze what we do within the Black community. Just listen to this clip, but I do have the video on my Medium transcript. Scroll down to show and prove. The video is entitled, quote, Democratic Party has abandoned the Hispanic community to focus on white liberals, unquote. Here's the audio version.
Community they've gone so far left, and they don't represent our values. People always ask me, Myra, how can you be a Republican whenever you were born in Mexico? And that clearly shows me that they know nothing about our culture. I was raised with strong conservative values. We're all about faith and family and hard work. That's who we are. So our values do really align with the Republican Party. But I do feel that, for a long time prior to 2020, no one was really paying attention to the Hispanic community. And I'm grateful that finally the Republican Party is investing in the Hispanic community, because we are the future. But the Democrat Party has completely abandoned us and taken us for granted. They feel entitled to our vote, and they feel they don't really have to work for it. And what we're showing now is that, yes, you do have to work to earn our vote, and that's why we won this special election, because we worked hard. We knocked thousands of doors, made thousands of phone calls. I have the most hardworking team, and that is the reason why we're also going to win that re-election in November, because no one is going to outdo the work that we're doing.
What caught my attention was when she said the Democratic Party is ignoring them. They felt entitled to the Latino vote. Other groups such as the Latinos, who feel like if we're not getting what we need from the Democrats, then we are open to try something different by voting for Republicans. Notice the Latino community didn't say let's continue voting for the Democrats. Instead, they voted for the opposition. I keep reading articles about Latino voters who claim that the Democrats haven't done anything for them. When black people hear what comes to mind is the DACA program under Obama administration. The Biden administration have open border policies for illegal Latino immigrants, but not for black Haitians. The Asian community have also said the Democrats have not done anything for them. In contrast, in the black community, we have seen the Biden administration completely ignore our interests. But as soon as Biden was sworn into office, he immediately signed executive orders and federal protection to other groups. For example, the Asians received an anti-hate crime bill with $50 million for their group. The LGBT group received an executive order and protection. Afghanistan refugees, Ukrainian refugees, and illegal Latino immigrants receive resources and set-asides. When you think that you don't deserve better in life and have a negative attitude, then you won't expect much, and usually society will treat you that way. The black community have been voting for Democrats for 60 years, all because President Lyndon B. Johnson signed the Civil Rights Act legislation. But look closely at these Democratic-run cities. Many of them include sanctuary cities for illegal Latino immigrants. Notice we don't have a black sanctuary cities. Tell me, what have the Democrats done for black people? The Biden administration is allowing all of these illegal Latino immigrants to flood the border. I found a video clip entitled "Protests Shut Down Pelosi's Dream Act, News Conference in San Francisco," unquote. To watch the video, go to my Medium transcript and scroll down to show and prove. Here's the audio part of it.
Okay, you've asked some questions. Okay. I totally agree with you. But as we fight the fight for the Dreamers, which is our... Do you want to listen or do you want to shout? Yeah, I got it. As we fight the fight, you know, it's clear you don't want any answer. Just stop it now. Just stop it now. Just stop it now. Let's stop it now. Stop it. I want to tell you something. Why do we do this? Since you don't want to listen, we have to just go. You know what?
First of all these pro-immigration activists are demanding all 11 million illegal Latino immigrants have citizenship. No, no, no. They have to go through the proper channels, and if they go through the proper channels, like other countries, then they can obtain citizenship. Obama created the DACA program. He saved them from mass deportation. They still have the program, and yet they are still not satisfied. They don't belong on the soil, and yet they are making demands. It's an arrogance that I have an issue with. The Democrats are doing more for these other groups than they are for black people. But notice, ladies and gentlemen, how these other groups are making the Democrats do something for them. I believe if Black America was more demanding, then we would get more things done from the Democrats. Our ancestors fought and died to obtain the 14th Amendment. It's offensive to watch these other groups who did not experience what our ancestors went through to just arrive over here and start demanding citizenships and set-asides that belongs to the U.S. citizens. Please leave a public comment on my Facebook page and on my YouTube page about the topic. Most of all, share this podcast with your friends. This will help get the ball rolling. Our second topic, deviant, desperate political class. I remember during the 2020 elections, there was an ad called Get Your Booty to the Polls. The ad showed scripters. It was aimed at targeting black men because the Democrats were having a hard time getting black men to vote. The Democrats offer nothing for black men. They only cater to single mothers, working class people, and poor people. Now we have a black politician tweaking for votes. Her name is Tara Mack. She is a 28-year-old Rhode Island state senator. She identifies as a member of the LGBT community. There's a video of her on TikTok. She is standing upside down twerking. I believe when you get into certain positions, certain decorums is expected of you. On her video, she said she has an Ivy League degree. It's so amazing to me how black people wrap themselves in the identity of white society and their degrees. This is our so-called black representation that the financial elites give us. Just gutter trash. And this is what the whole world sees. And the whole world is once again laughing at black America. These are dirty tactics that the financial elites are using, which I discuss in my revised book. It's an eugenics agenda. The financial elites want us to stop having black babies. Children are the investment of the poor. A nation become more industrialized, people have fewer children. Young adults will be more than likely to focus on careers. As a nation reaches industrialization, then the population turns into equilibrium, meaning there are more older people than younger people. In contrast, capitalist societies want a large population because that more customers and more workers. It doesn't matter to capitalists about the standard of living for workers, so long as the workers are available and customers are buying products. This is why the financial elites have opened their borders to illegal Latino immigrants. As DAS, descendants of American slaves, we're already industrialized. What the financial elites are doing is trying to starve the black community economically, politically, and socially. They prefer a depopulation of black people while increasing the population of non-blacks in America. What the LGBT group did was to find degenerate females because less people will suspect their hidden agenda and it will pass any resistance. You're not going to find any white female politician doing that. I remember an article from the New York Post entitled Anthony Weiner, Sex Text Busted Burnett while his son was in the bed with him, unquote. You can read the full article on my Medium transcript under Show and Prove. Every time you turn around, you hear about these career politicians in the news involving a sex scandal. For example, Andrew Gillum, Stacey Abrams, just to name a few. This is not accidental. This is the agenda. We have a sick, degenerate, deviant political class. That's why over here, the CAM is about raising the bar in black America and standing firm on it, because the financial elites are deliberately sending degenerates who look like us but are pushing a hidden agenda to derail us from black economic empowerment. The black baby boomers, which are the civil rights generation, were concerned about having access not only for public facilities but also interracial sex. For GRCAM members, our focus will be black economic empowerment, reparations, and an anti-crime black hate crime bill. The financial elites presented us to Barack Obama in order for him to promote a wicked, deviant, gutter agenda. Chicago didn't raise Obama. Senator Tom Daschle did. Watch the documentary on PBS Frontline entitled The Choice, 2008, unquote. I provide the documentary on my Medium transcript under Show and Prove. The documentary, Senator Tom Daschle said he chose Obama because he wanted someone that the Republicans couldn't beat. Nobody knew who Obama was. The Republicans had a swift vote against John Kerry because they used his record against him. Obama was a Trojan horse to black America, and he was not vulnerable to the Republicans. I admit, I voted for Obama twice because I was hoping that he would at least attempt to put black issues on the table and do something for black people. But he didn't. He said he was against abortion, but as soon as he was sworn into office, all bets were off. He became a puppet. Obama visited Kenya in order to impose LGBT in the African society in exchange for foreign aid. The Kenyan people were against it. No more candidates brought to us by political establishments. If they didn't come from the soil, then we ain't fooling with them. Point blank. This is about our survival, y'all. Notice, you have other groups that have real women fighting for their group. For example, Lauren Boebert and Margie Taylor Greene. They are fighting for white supremacy. Alexandria Cortez is fighting for Latino interests. Grace Ming is fighting for Asian interests. She helped promote the anti-Asian hate crime bill. All of these women are fighting for their group and their people, yet the Democrats, Tierra Mack, is fighting to shake her behind. what has she done for black people in Rhode Island? The Democratic Party prefers to select black people like Tiara Mack, but let it be a black woman fighting for reparation and a anti-black hate crime bill. That person may not get any votes. Dr. King said he wouldn't run for public office because he can't fight for civil rights and be in politics at the same time. As I mentioned in my revised book, we need to focus on these black politicians who are selling us out. Grekai of Chicago will teach our members and students about forming political consequences for future black politicians if they want our votes. On Tiara Mack TikTok page, she has photos of the LGBT parade, but nothing about the black community, nor anything about Brittany Griner, a LGBT member. These black politicians can't say a word until the financial elites approve it. When I was growing up in the 80s, you wouldn't see a black female politician acting like this in public. I was fortunate enough to witness black millennials and Generation Z come up on the scene. The environment in America has gotten worse. The grassroots community activist movement is for black millennials and Generation Z, but I can't do this alone. This is why I do my show. I'm trying to get everyone that's on my friends list to interact with me and to be on board and to support this film project. So that way I can move this organization to the next level, do this film, and the proceeds from the film will put me in a better position financially to hire people, because ain't nobody really want to come forth. They just want to, be seen, and we ain't having that. I'm from Generation X. I was unable to reach my peers because many of them have become Americanized and are full of Willie Lynch. In this organization, we're going to declare war on this Willie Lynch mentality in black society. This is why my film project is important, because we're going to offer a 21st century solution on a domestic front and also on an international front, putting my ideas on screen and having Gurkhan members to step up and promote it worldwide. Those of you who will come forth and work with me and Sister Renee will go down in history. Any brothers or sisters who reside in Rhode Island, this woman got to go. Vote her out of office. Until black people learn to enact political consequences for off-code behavior like what she has done, then we will continue to be disrespected and taken as a joke throughout the world. Please leave a public comment on my Facebook page and on my YouTube page about the topic. Most of all, share this podcast with your friends. This will help get the ball rolling. Our third topic, Brittany Griner, abandoned by the LGBT community. WNBA star Brittany Griner played professional basketball in Russia because she was paid more money than she was paid here in the United States of America. I watched a YouTube video about a Russian woman explaining that if people have an alternative lifestyle, then they should not come to Russia because their society is against it. For me, I wouldn't travel to any country that is racist against black people. That's just me. Brittany Griner was on her way back to America, but during an inspection, authorities found a vape with cannabis oil, which is illegal in Russia. She could face 10 years in prison. She was arrested and pled guilty. In Russia, you don't have the same rights and privilege you do here in America. On top of that, she was caught up in the middle of a war, the Russian-Ukraine conflict. I am just curious, where is her fellow LGBT community? The LGBT group is a powerful community that's well connected with lobbyists, politicians, CEOs of mega corporations, attorneys, and celebrities, just to name a few. The Biden administration has not been making any public comments about it. Instead, they're trying to escape Brittany Griner situation toward black men in the NBA. The LGBT group is not saying a word. I explained to my group members years ago that white supremacy is more important than what you do in your bed. The white LGBT community will not use their resources to fight on your behalf. This is why we reject the terms minorities, because the financial elites include other groups in our struggle during the civil rights legislation. No other group in America was enslaved for 246 years, plus Jim Crow, convict leasing, and systematic racism, except for DAS, descendants of American slaves. Other terms such as disenfranchised individuals, underserved communities, and people of color. We have to shift the conversation so when someone says people of color, ask them to be Pacific. Always push that, ladies and gentlemen. I want our black LGBT brothers and sisters to understand that your race trumps what you do in your bed. All of these resources that our ancestors fought and died for. The black baby boomers from the civil rights generation sold us out by allowing other groups to piggyback off our struggle. The buck stops here because Gricam is on the scene. Over here, we will embrace a black first mentality. Our first task is to separate ourselves from off-code Negroes. First, we have to identify them, name them, and shame them publicly in real life and also online. Also, we have to distance ourselves from them. This should have been done after slavery. I respect all people no matter your lifestyle, but I don't have to agree with it. This should be a wake-up call for our black LGBT brothers and sisters. No matter what you choose to identify yourself as, at the end of the day, your race trumps what you do in your bed. Rakai of Chicago would take the lead to teach our members and students about embracing monolithic viewpoints. We will be monolithic on protecting our women and children. We should be monolithic about reparations and pushing a anti-black hate crime bill. We should be monolithic about our politics. We need to be monolithic about starting and promoting black businesses and employing our people, especially ex-offenders of nonviolent crimes. That's what I aim to do through this Christian business if we are able to ever get it up and running. Again, I've been pushing this vision for 30 years. Getting tired, you know what I'm saying? All I have is my revised book and my virtual store in terms of trying to generate capital, because it takes capital to start a business. If I don't have support to do that, then I can't do my job. That's why I'm reaching out to the black grassroots and the global African family. You're gonna have to do your part. I can't do everything. I'm just one black man with a vision and a plan. It takes a team to make a dream work. We have black people walking around here saying we are not monolithic. Like that's a badge of honor. We need to be monolithic on certain things. This is why I said in my revised book, one mind, one voice, and one accord, which means we are on the same page. Black immigrants in America should support black Americans receiving our reparation, because if you have a black business in the black community, then we can patronize your business. We understand why white supremacists and other non-black groups may be against our reparation, because they prefer we remain at the bottom of American society. Please leave a public comment on my Facebook page. and on my YouTube page about the topic. Most of all, share this podcast with your friends. This will help get the ball rolling. The fourth topic, Black America in our own words. What I do is a bit different from other Black content creators. I like to use history and apply it to what's happening today. It's not enough just to point out what's wrong. It's best to use a historical perspective. I also use a Afrocentric perspective and a spiritual perspective. A lot has been happening in America. There's no better way to address these issues than to set the record straight. Your cam is still behind a computer. This is why I am reaching out to the global African family so that we can work together to turn my vision and plan into a reality while we still have a little time left. White supremacy objective is to become a permanent overclass and force Black people to become a permanent underclass in America. That's just how it is. On this video podcast, our goal is to wake up the Black masses, but all I get is pushback from these off-code Negroes and people that just want to be on my friends list just to be seen, and also the same thing in my groups. This is why we have to get our story on the big screen so that we can move Cam from behind the computer into the Black community, starting here in Chicago. I did not start this podcast to convert Black people. I started this podcast to connect with other like-minded Black people, African people, who are serious about making a positive impact in the Black community and on the African continent. GUCAM is about building something constructive in the Black community. It's also about solving our social problems using a 21st century solution on two fronts, domestically and internationally. We're pushing the ball forward and we're promoting our agenda. The NAACP does not discuss these type of issues, yet they have been around for a century. The National Action Network does not address these issues. We're starting this on our own. It starts with a conversation with the global African family. I've been consistent for the past 30 years and counting. I'm putting all of my videos online. I have explained to all of my group members that I offer something that no Black leader has in America, and that is a solution to solve all our social issues in Black America if given a chance. Online, offline, speaking in front of an audience, my position remains the same. I'm dedicated to helping my people who are trapped in American ghettos, starting in Chicago. But only for those Black families that want more out of life. That's how come, we're going to check people's paperwork up in this organization. We're going to offer mandatory orientations. I also want people to sign our community pledge and submit their thumbprint. Because if anybody tried to, try to undermine us, and, we find out that, we're going to pinpoint that person and put that person photo ID and their name and their address on that Judas list. So that way people know to stay away from them and that they can't be part of our organization ever again. Also, if they try to steal money from us, we'll take legal action against such persons. So we nipping that mess in the bud. So I think that's one of the reasons I don't have a lot of support, because people know that I'm serious about this. We're going to do the same thing in Africa. We're going to do the same thing in the Caribbean, as well as in Brazil. I am also dedicated to making the United States of America, live up to the nation it claims to be, a nation that is fair and just for all. Those words will never be true until these politicians do right by the group whom they are indebted the most, DAS, descendants of American slaves. We demand our reparation and an anti-Black hate crime bill just like what they did for the Asians. I am encouraging all of my listeners to please go to my Medium transcript and scroll down to Show and Prove. Watch this video about Micaiah Clarity, a 17-year-old black girl who was arrested by the River Rouge police. They said they pulled her over for speeding, and she refused to open the door when asked by officers. She had a permit, but only to drive with adults in the car. She had 2 other minors with her, and the video shows an officer pointing his weapon at the teenagers. These were innocent children minding their own business, and yet they were being terrorized by River Rouge police. Imagine if she was your daughter. I don't want to be bogged down in America for another 30 years trying to get Black America to work with me. This film project is my last attempt to try to do something positive for our racial group in America. That's real. I would be in a better position financially from this film project, the proceeds, to do all the things that I talk about. So that's another, thing that's, important. Our mission is to eradicate urban violence in Chicago through art, culture, commerce, and spiritual development. We will host African and Caribbean tours in order to reconnect the diaspora with continental Africans from my African group, Rakai of Africa. The goal is to match African entrepreneurs with Black entrepreneurs so that we can do international trade among our people and others. We also want to match African artists with Black artists. I will lead by example. I will apply for dual citizenship in South Africa. We will set up a chapter in South Africa and 9 other African nations. They are as follows: Liberia, Ivory Coast, Ghana, Angola, Nigeria, Kenya, Ethiopia, Tanzania, and Uganda. We also plan on visiting the Caribbean nations, such places as the Bahamas, Barbados, Haiti, Jamaica, and Trinidad, as well as Brazil, God's willing. Before I cut and run to Africa, my assignment is to build the Grassroots Community Activist Institute of Chicago on the west side of Chicago, and eventually expand a chapter on the south side of Chicago. At this point, I don't have a physical building. I don't have any staff. It's just me and Sister Renee. And I'm grateful to have her. She's been working with me behind the scenes for the past 10 years. And anyone that works with me will go down in history because I am going to acknowledge those people. The only way people are going to take us serious is when they realize we're not going to stop pushing the issue. The root of white supremacy is their economy. Over here, we are going to report these type of stories on our own. You got illegal Latino immigrants that's not supposed to be on the soil, yet they get a pass, and the sanctuary cities. In other words, they are being rewarded for breaking the law, but we have to file lawsuits and complaints against white supremacist road cops. That's not right. When I did street ministry, I talked to many people within the Black community, such as Black Christians, Black Muslims, Hebrew Israelites, Moors, Muwabians, people from the conscious community, and Pan-Africanists. I noticed online some Black people are against Pan-Africanism. Pan-Africanism is a worldwide movement that aims to encourage and strengthen bonds of solidarity between all indigenous and diaspora ethnic groups of African ancestry, based on a common goal dating back to the Atlantic slave trade. Pan-Africanism is just an ideology. It's not public policy. White supremacy is the greatest threat to black people. It's white supremacy that's gentrifying our neighborhoods left and right. Our government is the one who's allowing illegal Latino immigrants to enter America. I believe that Pan-Africanism arguments is a waste of time. Instead, we need to focus on fighting against white supremacy and systematic racism in America. We're